Child, hear me out. The first time that I learned that my pleasure mattered, it wasn't in the classroom. It wasn't from my partnership. It wasn't even from my mama. It was from Lil Kim. And I got to tell you, that probably was some of the realest sex education I got in my entire life. I mean, let's run it back. The year was 1996 when Lil Kim came on the scene. Sis was bold, she was unapologetic, and she was raw as hell. And she schooled a whole generation of us girlies who was just stepping into our womanhood, that being sexually satisfied was the standard, not the bonus, our standard. And if you don't believe me, if you don't trust me for some reason, run back Big Mama thing and tell me how many times the good sis told us that she wanted to come. Because I'll wait. Matter of fact, no, let's not wait. Let me just give you a hint. She started at 21 and then she kept going. It was crazy. Now, almost 30 years ago, I'm realizing how dope that moment actually was for us. Because somewhere along the way, and I'm only speaking for myself, somewhere along the way, I misplaced that boldness that Kim gave me. And I went from understanding that my pleasure was the standard to measuring how good I was in bed by how well I pleased my partner. And I see y'all with your little judgy eyes right now. Before you judge me, judge your mama, because I know I was not the only one that was moving that way. And you know how I know? Because I listen. I listen to how we talk. I listen to when we talk about our skills and what we do and how we perform. But rarely did we talk about what we actually experienced. Okay. And then the data started coming in, and that data was saying that women's orgasms was basically missing. They were being performed. They were fake. They was pushed to the side. They was hidden. They was gone. Okay. And I had to sit with that shit for a moment, as should you. And then it got me thinking, what if I actually prioritize my pleasure with intention, not by accident, not if that shit happens, but on purpose? How much better could my sex life actually get if I did that? And so I did. And I even started with taking classes on intimacy, because for me, that was the root that was blocking my pleasure. That was where the disconnect was for me. So I learned. Then I got curious. I learned what I liked. I learned what I didn't like. I explored a little in the kink space, just to dibble dabble there. And then I got comfortable talking about sex. I stopped running from the shit that I liked and started communicating what I liked instead. And then I left room for curiosity. I mean, not all curiosity. As long as they don't cross my three non-negotiables, I'll try it at least once. But the best part is I let go of shame and I ignored the rules that were never designed for me anyway. And I gotta say, I regret nothing, because the girl who met and learned Lil Kim back in '96, she was on to something. She knew her pleasure mattered, and I just had to find my way back to her. And that's where today's lesson was. I guess hip hop wasn't just a vibe for me; it taught me how to center myself, and that's just dope. This is another episode of Miseducation of the Brown Girl. This is actually my birthday countdown edition. As I make my way to 48, I'm just sitting here reflecting on the things that I learned this year, the things that I did this year, the things that I prioritized, the things that I let go. And I gotta say, 47 owes me nothing. So that's all I got for y'all tonight. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.